Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. How you guys doing today? In the massage chair, the nail salon. Listen, that is where I need to be. I'll probably be at the nail salon sometime in the next 72 hours, child, before these nails just grow off my daggone fingers. I was cleaning up and stuff yesterday, and I lifted this nail. I thought that thing was about to fall off my finger. So, you know, when they start lifting, you pass time. So, yeah, I need to go and take care of that. Happy Friday, you guys. Today is the last day of Teacher Appreciation Week. And so I hope that you guys did a good job of thanking a teacher this week. It is also Nurses Appreciation Week. And, you know, I used to always do something for the nurses from the floor where I stayed when I was at the rehab hospital, when I, you know, people who rock with me, y'all know what I'm talking about. And I didn't do anything for them this year, so I'm going to have to do something for them. They'll appreciate it, even if it's next week, they'll appreciate it. So I'm going to have to take care of them next week. But I usually send them like an edible arrangement or something like that, you know. Flowers are nice, but, you know, they appreciate all of that. So I'm looking for something right now. Where did it go? So, hey, everybody. Dominique Below. What's up, Diamond? Watermelon Sugar coming to the stage. Dark Liquor Cam. What's up, Diva Law? Hey, what's up? Shania, you didn't come over here hang out with me? That's my girl right there. Listen, you ever looking for a private investigator, honey? That's your girl right there. We be hanging out over at It's Me D's place watching the Masked Singer. She be on top of it. Hey, Danny C, Golden Lock Queen. Anybody that I missed, little baby Brandon. If there's anybody I missed, charge it to my head, not my heart. How y'all doing? And I want to thank everybody who blessed me this week, because like I said, you didn't have to give me nothing, but you know it is always appreciated. So I did appreciate the cash apps. I got a few cash apps when I wasn't on, when I wasn't here. So I want to thank everybody who sent me a message, a gift, left a message under a video saying happy Teacher Appreciation, all of that. It is appreciated. And for the people who sent me little monetary gifts, just know you took care of lunch. That might be the money I use to go get my nails done. Okay. Anyway, so before we get started, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time if I'm having a hard time reading the chat. I just got back. Well, I didn't just get back, but I had to go to the eye doctor, and I had to get my pupils dilated, and so it's still clearing up. I mean, I'm pretty good, but it's still kind of clearing up. You might see me having to keep adjusting my glasses and stuff. So I went and got my eye. Those of you who wear glasses know what I'm talking about. I went and go get my little eye exam. I missed last year because of COVID. Okay, so I went and got my little eye exam, and ordered me some new glasses, ordered me some sunglasses. So I got some sunglasses coming, got some regular glasses coming. And but my pupils are still a little dilated. Anyway, the chat's not moving. Are y'all there? I just want to make sure that, because the chat, sometimes the chat be tripping. The chat's not moving. So if I'm not speaking or acknowledging, I'm letting you know now, because the chat's not moving. And it may just be nobody's talking, but ain't nothing popping up on the chat. Ain't nothing hit the chat in 2 minutes. So 2-3 minutes. So I don't know. Let me see. It might just be nobody saying nothing. Oh, now like 20 things just popped up at one time. Okay, so it's just moving slow. Sometimes with StreamYard, there's always a delay. Sometimes the delay is longer than others. So, all right. Well, let's go on and jump into this thing, honey. So I did a quick drop on the whole. What's up, Star? I did a quick drop on the whole Tamisha, Iman situation earlier in the week. For those of you who follow Drag Race, y'all know what I'm talking about. Tamisha Iman had a whole thing with Monet Exchange, and she was going to go live on her YouTube channel, and she was going to drag Monet, honey, because she had finally been, I guess, semi-released from her contract, and she could say what she wanted to say. And so she was going to drag Monique. And then, hey, keep it cute. And then she came onto her channel and said, I'm not doing it over here on YouTube. I have started my own network, the Tamisha. I keep wanting to make it Tani instead of Tami. The Tamisha Iman network, and you can subscribe. I think it was like $14.99 or something to that effect. You can subscribe and you can hear what she had to say. Well, I mean, I didn't listen. I ain't subscribed, so I don't know what she said. But the next thing you know, hey, China White, she was announcing that she was going to be talking to Miss Kandi Muse. Now, if you follow RuPaul, you follow Drag Race, then you know that was like the story of the episode of the season was the Tamisha Iman, Kandi Muse, confrontation down to the Untucked, honey. And a lot of this was everybody was waiting for the drama, waiting for the breakdown. And this is what I can appreciate about Tamisha. She did start her network, and she actually said that Bob, the drag queen, was the one that actually helped her. Hey, mother of Cass, I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing, boo? Bob, the drag queen, was the one that actually like kind of hipped her to making her coin and capitalizing on making her coin. And he was the one that actually helped her set everything up with this network. And I think it was absolutely genius that one of her first interviews on her new network was Kandi Muse. Now, here's what I can appreciate, though. What I can appreciate is that she got her views off of it. What's up, So Jeff? And then she uploaded the interview on her YouTube channel. So I listened to the interview this morning on my way to work, okay? It was about an hour long, maybe 45 minutes to an hour long. And she didn't, let me say this she ain't pulling no stunts. Before I get into what was said, let me say this. Tamisha Iman didn't do anything different than half these YouTubers do down here. Hell, I've done it. I do it, okay? I have a membership. There are people who pay a few dollars extra every month just to say they are a member of my channel, okay? It is my obligation to give them something for their money. And I don't even like the word obligation because I want to do it. You believe enough in me to become a member of my channel. I got some members in the chat right now. Everybody that's in green is a member over here. So I do members only lives. I do giveaways. I do a members only review. Now, I ain't been as good with the members only reviews because I usually choose a show that's like new, that y'all are asking me to review. I did Marriage Boot Camp, and they was getting on my nerves with the Marriage Boot Camp. And then this season, I did Married at First Sight. Listen, I tried with Married at First Sight. Yeah, I really did. I tried. And the mindset of the members only live is y'all get it first. So y'all get the members only live. Review. And then after like a week, I release it and make it public so everybody can see it. But it's an exclusive. That's all she did. There are YouTubers who have Patreons and they upload videos to their Patreon first because you pay for a Patreon membership. So she's not doing anything different than people do down here all the damn time. People have memberships and they make things only available to their members. And if you're not a member, you ain't never going to. I have lives that y'all will never see if you're not a member. And don't get me wrong. There are people who are in my chat every day who are not a member. So I don't feel no kind of way one way or the other. Y'all are here and y'all support me. But what I'm saying is there's something for membership. And that's all Tamisha Iman did. She created a platform where YouTube ain't taking a percentage, Patreon ain't taking a percentage. She making all her coin. But what she did was she got all of her clicks and views off of it, and then she released it to everybody else. It's still on her YouTube. Now, we didn't get it when it happened. What's up, D? What's up, nephew? We didn't get it when it actually happened, but we eventually got it. So I just wanted to say that because people have been giving her a hard time all week. I think part of it was the way it was done, but she absolutely planned. If you listen to her to explain what happened, she planned to come down to YouTube and do exactly what she said she was going to do. And Bob, the drag queen, pulled her aside and was like, come here, let me hip you to something. Because Bob and Monet have a Patreon side of their podcast. Their podcast, Sibling Rivalry, they do stuff on that Patreon that they don't do for everybody else. If y'all pay attention, they censor themselves. They censor themselves. But if you go over to that Patreon, baby, they be naming names and dropping tea. But you got to pay for it. You can get Sibling Rivalry for free every week. You ain't got to pay for nothing. But if you want that little extra oomph, you got to pay for it. Anyway, I just want to say that because I feel like people were giving her a hard time this week, and I don't feel like it was warranted. I feel like she's not doing anything different that half the YouTubers down here do. People do it all the time. Now, whether you choose to pay for it or not, that's your business. But people do it all the damn time. Anyway, with that being said, it was a really good interview between her and Kandi Muse. And if you listen to Tamisha Iman, she said exactly what I said over on It's Me D's channel Wednesday night. We were reviewing. We were doing a live viewing of The Masked Singer, but we got off on a whole RuPaul conversation, Drag Race conversation. We talked about Tamisha Iman and Kandi and all this other stuff. And the reality of the situation is this. Tamisha has no issue with the critique. It wasn't the critique. Tamisha felt disrespected. And Tamisha feels like, now whether you agree with her or not, I'm telling you how she feels. You don't have to agree with how she feels. I'm just telling you how she feels. Tamisha's mindset is, I knock down doors that y'all are walking through. And I deserve the respect of that. Kandi admitted, listen, I was a hothead. You know, I didn't know who you were. So, you know, I did. She said, after I left Drag Race and I've, Googled and I've looked and I've seen, oh, absolutely, mama. Yes. She said, I didn't know. And part of Kandi, if you listen to what Kandi said, her feelings were hurt. Because she said, I don't understand. Everybody else here seems to like me. Why doesn't she? Because Tamisha was, and what she said in hindsight, after she said in the moment being on the show, that's how it felt. Was, well, everybody else likes me except for her. And why doesn't she like me? But she said after going home and watching the show, she realized it wasn't so much that everybody liked me. It was, she was the only one telling me about myself. Everybody else was sort of kind of going along with the get along. But I found out later, looking at the confessionals and all that other stuff, oh, them bitches was throwing shade. And so if you listen, it was It's Me D. It was a really good interview. They absolutely did listen to each other. And Kandi brought some really good points too, because Kandi said one of the problems she had was when the fans were coming for her, Tamisha Iman never called her fans off. And I felt like in the beginning, Tamisha was trying to defend it. But by the time they got done talking, Tamisha said, you know what? I was wrong and I could have handled that better. I could have told my fans to stop. She said, but I didn't feel like I had that kind of power. She said, I ain't never had fans like this before. I've had fans my whole career, but I ain't never had fans that was sending people death threats. I ain't never had fans that was threatening to beat up people's mama. So I didn't feel like I had the power to call my fans off. I didn't feel like, and Kandi said, and Candi's point was valid. She said, even if they didn't listen, I would have appreciated you doing it. I would have appreciated you addressing it. And Tamisha, she did apologize and she was like, I hear you. I hear you. Kandi went live with Bob the drag queen the other night, and Bob had to kind of hip Kandi to some things because Kandi kind of went off. What was it, at the premiere party or something? And Kandi kind of went off about how Tamisha was doing the most, and oh well, so what? It's dress critique. Why she tripping? And Bob had to pull her coattail a little bit and say, you can't invalidate how she feels. You can't invalidate how she feels. That's how she feels. And Kandi said, you know what? He was right. I had to listen and I had to understand that this was Tamisha's experience, and I had to respect Tamisha. I had to respect where Tamisha was coming from. The other thing they talked about the fight, honey. Now, what we found out was there was a conversation going on during Untucked, where Kandi was talking a lot of shit about Tamisha. Kandi didn't know Tamisha heard her because the girls who were in the top and in the bottom, they held them backstage until the conversation finished in Untucked, and then they let them come on. So for the people who were safe, who were sitting in the room, sitting in the lounge, they were thinking, oh, they just got here. Kandi didn't know until that night that they were interviewing. Kandi said, oh, you heard me? Tamisha said, yeah. She said, so that's why I walked in with an attitude. I didn't walk in with an attitude because I was mad about the critiques or whatever. I heard what you were saying about me. And my attitude was, as long as she don't say nothing to me, we cool. But then you had to ask me how I felt or whatever, however the whole thing started off. And so they talked about that, and even when Kandi was doing this like this, Tamisha said, see, where I come from, that's we ready to fight. Like when you start doing all like this with your hands, let's go. She said, and in that moment, I blacked out. I forgot I was doing reality TV. I forgot that the cameras was there. I was like, oh, she ready to let's do it. She said, in that moment, I really was there. I was there. And she said it was a black camera woman that got in between them and was able to snap her out of it. So it was a good conversation. I feel like it was an honest conversation. I feel like both of them acknowledged where they were wrong or could have handled something better, but there's no ill will with them. There's no animosity with them, and I think it's legit. The one thing Kandi said was because Tamisha was eliminated in the very next episode, they never had an opportunity to come to any resolve while they were on the show. And of course, once you leave the show, you can't say nothing until you can't really get into what's going on. Kandi was still on the show. Tamisha wasn't on the show. And so there really was no time for them to really talk and resolve anything. So I think it was a good conversation. I definitely think the fans were happy to see it. I know I was. I was absolutely happy to see them on that platform. I was happy to see a mature resolution to the conflict. I was. Hey, P. Well, see, that's a whole nother conversation. Should Kandi have made it as far as she did? I don't think she should have, and that is no shade to Kandi. I just don't think Kandi was on the same level. And the one thing that Tamisha had to say was, she said she congratulated her and all that good stuff. She said, but you know what I had to acknowledge? That whole fight started because you said that the only competition in that room for you was Simone, and you were right. You beat everybody else in the room except for Simone. And Kandi said, when I looked back and I watched the episode back, I 100% understand why you reacted the way you reacted. Because if somebody else had said that to me, I would have been pissed too, and I would have had a problem with it. How dare you say, can't nobody else, there's no other competition but that one person, and there's 12 other people sitting in this damn room. So again, I feel like I just feel like it was a good conversation. Yeah, it's on Tamisha Iman's YouTube page. She uploaded it on her YouTube page. So it's there. Now, I don't know if she's going to keep it there forever, but it's there right now. I listened to it earlier today. Hey, Shawana, how you doing, baby? I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Jamila, how are you? Jamila. But yeah, now listen, whether she deserved to make it as far as she did, that is beyond my pay grade, Tamisha Iman's pay grade. Hell, it's beyond Kandi's pay grade, child. But yeah, and Xavier, I understand what you are saying, but again, it's not whether Tamisha is responsible. We know that Tamisha is not responsible for her fan base. It is about acknowledging and saying, hey, y'all. Because listen, let's be clear. There have been other, that's the same thing that they asked of Valentina and her fans. You can't make nobody do nothing, and you can't make nobody stop doing anything. But what you can do, if you are out here acting, that's okay. Perfect example. When Rodney King, when those police officers were acquitted of beating Rodney King, and people started rioting, who did they get to come on TV and ask the people to stop rioting? Rodney King. Because those people were rioting because they felt like Rodney King was done wrong, and he was not served justice. So the person that people are out here acting on the behalf of, they asked Rodney King to get on TV and ask people to stop. Because if I'm doing something in the name of you, the mindset is you'll listen to me asking you to stop. So no, Tamisha is not responsible for her fans, and she can't make her fans do anything. But if you were out here putting hashtag Kandi must die and threatening her mama and sending her death threats on behalf of Tamisha Iman, if that's not how Tamisha wants her fans to act, I don't think Kandi was wrong in feeling like Tamisha should have said something. Is she responsible? No. Does she have to? No. But I don't think Kandi was wrong for saying, hey, you could have just put something on your Instagram asking people to stop. Like, you knew I was getting these death threats. You knew these people were threatening my mom. That's all. That's it. That's all. And again, in the beginning, Tamisha kind of was saying the same thing that you said, Xavier. Like, I ain't feel like that was my place to tell them. Like, they the fans, they can feel how they feel. But by the end of the conversation, she was like, you know what, I could have. But the one thing she acknowledged is that this fan base for RuPaul, it ain't like nothing she's ever seen before. It ain't nothing she's ever seen before. And those of us who follow RuPaul and we follow the fans, I don't even follow them like that. But I know for a fact, those fans are nasty. They are racist. They are vicious. And quiet as it's kept, a lot of them are homophobic. Interestingly enough. Well, let me say this. Or at least the first thing they'll do is throw out a homophobic slur. They'll do that in a minute now. You know, you can take with that what you want. Hey, Furious Citizen, how are you? Exactly, Lock Queen. They do. It feels like the producers are elevating Kandi to get under Aja's skin. They're using their beef for future shows. They might be. They may very well. Listen, the one thing we know about RuPaul's Drag Race is that it is very political. The longer the show runs, the more political it is. Look at from season to season. For example, look at all of the houses. Oh, you are so-and-so's house, and then the very next season. So, like this season, we had Simone, who was in the same house as the runner-up from last season. I always forget the child's name. We had Kimora Lee Simmons, who was in the same house as the Broccoli. We had Kandi Muse, who was the defunct Aja. Lala Reed and Tamisha Iman, same house. People know that they weren't really the best of friends. I really think that the show thought they were going to exploit that relationship, and it ain't go down the way I think it didn't go down the way they thought it was going to go down. And it was somebody else there that was from somebody's house. We've had Alyssa Edwards' kids on the show. We've had what's her name? She was on All Stars. Vanjie is from her house. Like, you see, it's becoming more and more political at this point, and it's more about who you know and not always about right. There's always a Davenport on the damn show. Look at all the New York queens. Every year we know we're gonna get 4 or 5 New York queens every year. And Tamisha asked Kandi that. She said, "Did you get help with your package?" And Kandi was like, well, yeah, she said, she said, I honestly didn't expect that we would film during COVID. I thought they were going to wait and call us after COVID. So she said, I didn't have as much money as I thought I was going to have. Because, everybody was struggling with COVID and stuff. But she said she got help from Nikki Doll. She got help from Eureka. She named somebody else that she got help from. That's another like big Rue girl. Tamisha got help from Tamisha. She said, listen, I was living off my savings by that point because I had gotten sick, and basically everything I had for the show came off my wall. I made it myself. Now, the great thing is that she is a seamstress and she can make her clothes. But again, it's all about the connection. I agree, because Kandi did the same thing when people were coming in for Tamisha. Kandi told, understand. It's me, D. I don't understand nothing you just said. I feel like what you're saying is that Kandi did tell people to stop. La Queen, you said the last season you watched was Evie Ali and you wasn't happy. I feel like I wasn't mad that Evie Ali won, although she wasn't my first choice, but I definitely respected her drag by the end. She wasn't my choice that season because I really don't remember who was. I just remember she wasn't my choice that season. Do you know how to voice note? Huh? Are you talking to me? It's me, D. Do you know how to voice note? Yeah, you mean like on my phone? Like if you send me a voice note on my phone? Yeah. Isn't it like 50-11 white men behind the show too? Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it is. I think Rue was like the only person of color in the room. I think that's what we found out. One thing I never understood is, I get being a fan base of a show, but sending death threats. Listen, Furious Citizen, I will never understand people getting that vested in one, and people they don't know and may never ever meet, and two, something that ain't even real. Even reality we know ain't real. We know how they edit, twist and turn and flip and dip. Like, you know that. Oh, okay, it's me, D. So you trying to do voice notes? You must be at the gym you doing voice notes. Okay, but I think that's what you were trying to say, was that Kandi did call her fans off. Is that what you're trying to say? But yeah. So anyway, that was that. And so I'm telling y'all, go give her that click and view. It's worth it. It was a really good interview, and she's definitely got some other stuff coming. She's going to bring other Rue girls on. And talk to them. It's not all about being salacious, but it is all about being truthful, I feel like. The ballerina dancer that was the season. You talking about Bobby Lights? That wasn't last season, right? Bobby Lights? No, last season was Crystal Meth, Jada Essence Hall, and the third one, the one who Simone they come from the same house. The one that made her mom made all her old clothes. I mean all her clothes, not old clothes, made all her clothes. No, you cannot, little baby. Please don't. Please do not. Please do not send death threats on my behalf. No, we don't need to do that. So in Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead news, Kim Zolciak is fired. Show is canceled. Now she said in a tweet or Instagram message, whatever, that the Biermans will be back on TV soon. My question is why? Who is still watching this show? Who is still watching Tardy for the Party? El Teddy. Hey, DMV, where you been, boo? Listen, I have no idea. Listen, I have no idea. I don't know who was still watching it. I don't know why we were still watching it. I don't even know why. I mean, do we care? I mean, when her daughter started getting plastic surgery at 16, I said, okay, well, I'm over this. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm over this because I wasn't watching it. I think the last season of anything dealing with Kim Zolciak was when they got married, was when her and Croy got married and they had the whole wedding special. I really feel like that's the last thing I watched. I have not seen anything minus that season she was back on Housewives. I have not seen no parts of Kim Zolciak since then. Gigi styled all Simone's wigs this season. She better do those black wig shots. She did the wigs and she did a lot of her clothes. She did a lot of her clothes too. Do I have Invisible Life on my agenda? I don't know what Invisible Life is. What is Invisible Life, El Teddy? So I guess that answers your question that is not on it because I don't even know what that is. So Invisible Life? I don't even know what that is. I would love to know where Sweetie is today. Where is Sweetie? Ain't nobody found her and had her do a Where Are They Now interview. I did watch one season of Tardy for the Party and I felt like lost our child. Why would Invisible Life be on my agenda for today? Did something happen dealing with Invisible Life? I mean, am I being funny? Is there something that I'm missing? Because why would it be on my... Like, you just randomly asked me, is it on my agenda for today? Why would it be on my agenda for today? Yeah, her house helped her with the clothes. HBO is doing a TD after... Okay, see, now we're starting at the beginning and working our way forward. I didn't know anything about it. I did not know that HBO was doing Invisible Life. Oh, now I got to Google it. Oh, that is intriguing. Sweetie's still in school? How many degrees is she getting? That was 10 years ago. Child. Child. You know what? I'm not doing this with you. It's me, D. I'm not doing this with you. He said, didn't she fight somebody in the elevator? That's the only Sweetie he know. Moving forward. I'm not doing that. Moving. Nope. I'm done. And I move forward. So Keisha Lance Bottoms is quitting. She said, to hell with you, Atlanta. I'm done. Y'all don't want to wear y'all mask. Y'all don't want to listen to nobody. Y'all passing voter suppression laws. I'm done with y'all asses. Now listen. All day long, the speculation has been why I've heard, she might be running for governor. If she may be running for governor. They say that she got a job down to Walgreens, a corporate job down to the Walgreens. But y'all know my brain goes left. Okay. Y'all think her resigning might have something to do with this whole T.I. Tiny situation? Because y'all remember, T.I. was her man. T.I. was her go-to. T.I. was her ace. T.I. was her connection to the urban community. Whenever she needed somebody, it was T.I. and Big Mike. Not Big Mike. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I mean, he is Big Mike, but that's not. Y'all know who I'm talking about, though. I ain't saying it is, and I ain't saying it isn't, but I would not be surprised if it got something to do with it. Killer Mike, that's who. Thank you, Tracy. That's all I'm saying. And again, I ain't saying. Oh, she said that's not true. That Walgreens job ain't true. Mm-hmm. D. Hawkins was auditioning for 2 musicals. Oh, 2 musicals. He actually had a decent voice. I mean, from the booth for the 2 seconds we heard him singing. But yeah, I'm not saying that has anything to do with it. All I'm saying is I'm just watching, and I'm like, because remember when all this stuff first came out about T.I. and Tiny, that was one of the first things that people were saying. They was like, oh well, that's not a good look for Keisha, because she has absolutely connected her administration to T.I. Oh, you talking about those confessionals, child? Listen. We can talk a little bit of Chase in LA before we get off of here, but listen, let me tell you something. You think she overlooked some of his bad behaviors? Well, she clearly overlooked some of his bad behaviors. He was out here kidnapping the girls and other salacious things. I mean, I don't know if listen, it's all alleged. It is all alleged, but allegedly. You used to like Killer Mike. My problem with Killer Mike is this. I like Killer Mike. I respect Killer Mike. I even like, that he's actually putting his money where his mouth is, and he does a lot of things for the community. However, one of my biggest frustrations with us as Black folk is when we have the mindset that there's only one way to handle something. And there's just more way to skin it, more. And listen, here's the thing. Just because I'm not doing it your way doesn't mean it's the wrong way. He was a very big Bernie Sanders supporter. I have no problems with that, because the reality is I think we need to have more diversity in the primary process, because then maybe there'll be more competition and it'll force people to really, stand for something and build real platforms and things like that. So I have no problem with that. The problem I have, though, is when you don't get your way, now you want to burn down the house. That's the problem I have. And that's the problem I have with a lot of people. Because, see, that's what happened with Hillary. And you saw what we got. I'm not saying Hillary was perfect. I'm not saying Hillary didn't have her issues. However, you saw what the fuck we ended up with, because when people couldn't get their way, it was, well, if Bernie can't win, then fuck it. And he's one of those people. Well, if I can't get my way, then fuck it. And that's one of my issues with him. You say he's on that Umar Johnson tip. Well, then that's it. That's all right there. Because listen, I interviewed Umar Johnson when I was doing the radio show years ago. Before I started even doing my podcast, when I was doing the radio show, we had him on the show, and it was a shit show. And the fucked up thing is, I'm cussing a lot. The messed up thing is the video, that show actually ended up getting deleted. I wish I still had that show. I'm like, it's got to exist somewhere. But it was terrible. He speaks before understanding the issue. He went on NRA-TV and said some extremely dumb stuff. Right, and he also came for, remember when he came for Joy Reid because he didn't know what H&M was? She tagged H&M. You don't have your key? Hold on, here I come. Hold on, y'all. Isn't it? No. It wasn't, but I thought it was. Usually it is. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Sorry, y'all. He was. Dr. Umar Johnson, yeah. We did, essentially the interview, it was myself as an educator. It was three of us. I was the educator. It was Spikefish Radio. So Spikefish, it was his show. We were his co-hosts. He grew up ADHD. And then the third person, our third co-host, he was just a hotep. So, of course, he was eating up everything that Dr. Umar was saying. He was like, yes, yes, yes. And basically, Dr. Umar Johnson was just like, ADHD is fake. All these black parents need to do is just whip their kids. They'll act right in school. We need to stop, we need to stop allowing the white man to misdiagnose our black kids, our black boys. Ain't nothing wrong with them. ADHD is fake. It ain't real. And I was just like, dude, are black kids, especially boys, overdiagnosed? Certainly. But to just say all they need is a good ass whipping and they'll know how to act when they go to school, I think is just negligent on so many levels. And it went left from there. Because again, my co-host was like, literally, I was ADHD. My parents did whip my ass and it didn't change my behavior. Now what? Like you say, they should have whipped me more. Just so. Anyway, child. Exactly. Anyway, so no, I try not to really watch anything dealing with Umar Johnson. If I can, I don't entertain him. So I saw he was on the Breakfast Club. I see that he's getting into this whole thing with Kevin Samuels. As far as I'm concerned, both of them are idiots. So they're both idiots. So I don't have nothing for them. I'm still waiting for you to open your school, Dr. Johnson. Still waiting for you to open up your school. Moving on. So yeah, I'm just saying I'm interested. Now El Teddy said that he is breaking it down and he is tapping into his resources. He's got resources in the Republican, the Democratic Party. So he is tracking it down. But I'm not saying that it is, but I would not be surprised if there was some behind the scenes stuff and people was like, this ain't a good look. You go to run for re-election, the first thing they're going to do is plaster every time you did a press conference, a photo op, a community service project, you gave away some turkeys with T.I. Like, they're going to post every picture of everything you ever did with T.I. And by the time the campaign get good together, we're looking at federal charges, child. Federal. So, yeah. Anyway, so there was that. But El Teddy would definitely run it down, and I'm sure on his politics of it all, he'll give y'all some breakdown on it. What was it? Something else. All right. So we got some Real Housewives of Potomac situation. Now listen, this is according to All About the Tea, Monica. According to Monica, I want to give credit where credit is due. According to Monica, All About the Tea, some credible sources close to the Real Housewives of Potomac are saying that Wendy Acefo's husband got him a whole mistress and she got a whole baby by him. And allegedly, they saying that she white, And allegedly, one of the husbands from the show pulled him aside and told him he need to get that whole thing together because now that he's on the television, somebody gonna spill his tea. Now listen, let me say this. I don't put nothing past nobody. I mean, let's just be clear. We see stupid people go on reality shows that got dirt all the time and their dirt get exposed. I mean, look at Jen Shaw down to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Hell, she barely got a whole season before her ass got indicted on federal charges, okay? So I don't put nothing past nobody. But I need more information. I don't know what I don't know. I don't feel like they're rushing to get the next season out. I think they're trying to get back in regular rotation. Because remember, the rotation got thrown off because of COVID. I think they're just trying to get back in regular rotation. The Potomac is coming on. They're still a little bit late than they normally would be, but it's closer to the right time that they would come on than it was. You heard? Yeah, I heard it was somebody that he worked with. Yeah, I heard it was somebody that he worked with. Yeah, I feel the same way. Give me shelter. It just feels real convenient to me. You know, y'all know me. I've been doing this long enough that I'm leery whenever we start getting all these salacious stories during filming. Now, when stuff come out when they ain't filming, you be like, ooh, they not even filming. But like they are literally in the middle of filming their season. I ain't saying it's not true. I'm just saying I'm always a little leery when it comes out during filming. Hey, King Snoopy. Mad salacious. Some of them headlines and discussions are ridiculous. I had to take a break from that channel. Well, I'm just saying. I feel like, and this is no disrespect because I don't have no beef with nobody, and I ain't no disrespect, but I do feel like sometimes people reach. I feel like people be putting 20 on 10 sometimes. So that's all I'm saying about that. But yeah, so yeah, that was the thing. And again, they said that Karen's vow renewal, she had a bachelorette party this weekend and Giselle wasn't invited, but they also said Monique wasn't there either. Now, I don't know if Monique, I'm sure Monique was invited because Monique is still cool. Her and Karen are still cool. I'm sure Monique was invited, but it may have been a situation where either Monique chose not to come because they knew she was filming, or Bravo may not have wanted her there. I mean, Monique has not been very kind to Bravo since leaving, so they may not have even wanted her there. I think something was brewing back on the reunion when Monique came out with the binder. Wendy pushed up on her seat with the "please don't call me out" look in her eyes. Yeah, Patty Duke said she heard it too during the reunion. May very well be true. Why wouldn't Monique attend? Why wouldn't she? Hell, they let Sharice come to all that shit for the last 2 seasons. Why wouldn't Monique come? Her and Karen are friends in real life. Karen is doing a vow renewal in real life. Why wouldn't she invite Monique? I agree, King Snoopy. I mean, other than the fact that because it's, you know, for the TV show, you know, for the show that you would have to invite her, you know. No, I think it was more on that binder. As a fact, Monique did say, and I mean, it's a Monique version of the story, so y'all can take it however y'all want to take it. Monique said that she did actually go into the binder more than that one time, but that's all they showed. Remember, they filmed, it took them 12 hours to film that reunion. Andy said that was the longest reunion they had ever, that was the longest it had ever taken them to film a reunion. Up until the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But the reason why Salt Lake City took so long is because damn people kept running off the set and they had to keep waiting for people to come back. But that was the longest reunion. So no, Monique went to the binder more than once. So Monique is out of the storm. Why would she step back in? Her going to an event where they're going to be filming is not her stepping back in. That's just her going to be at the event and then filming. That doesn't mean it happens all the time. We see it happen all the time. We've seen Lisa Wu at stuff, you know, with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Again, we see Sharice at shit all the time with Potomac. You know, we see former housewives at, we see it on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We see former housewives at these different events. When people build legitimate friendships and legitimate relationships, they come to stuff all the time. Now, whether they film it or not, and whether, you know, that doesn't mean that Monique gonna get a confessional. That don't mean Monique gonna be on screen. It just means she there. Yeah, I only looked at the first Vonda story. I didn't look at the second one. I'll probably catch it one day. I just hadn't looked at it yet. No, I did not. Give me shelter. I'm gonna have to look into that. I didn't hear nothing about that. Did I hear about Tiffany, Dr. Moon's father, in-law being sued for harassment and anti-black hiring practices. No, I ain't heard about that. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised to hear about it, but I didn't hear about it. I understand where you're coming from, so Jeff, but I'm saying I don't see. Again, if her and Karen are friends in real life, like I would go. She don't have to agree to be on camera. She doesn't have to agree. I mean, she has to sign a waiver just like anybody else has to sign a waiver, but she doesn't have to agree to be on camera. I mean, you know, as far as like speak on camera and all that good stuff, she don't have to agree to be a part of that. See, I disagree, y'all. I mean, I don't, because again, it's not about Real Housewives of Potomac. It's not. I don't know. I don't feel like it's, I mean, because again, if I have a friend who's on a reality TV show that I used to be on, and she's legit. Now, if this was one of those like made up, oh, I'm going to have, you know, tea and crumpets at my house and invite everybody over so we can, you know, talk about the flowers in my backyard, that'd be one thing. But this is like a major thing that Karen is doing that's not just for the cameras. She's inviting the cameras there, but her and Ray are legitimately renewing their vows. They're having a whole second wedding. Hell, she had a bachelorette party. Like they're really doing so. It'd be different if this was just a casual, oh, I'm having a backyard barbecue. That to me, that would look a little, you know. No, it's not the same, Xavier. It's not the same. It's not the same. Because Jackie Christie renews her damn vows every year. It's not the same. Karen and Ray are renewing their vows at a milestone. That's totally different. So Jeff, it's not just a storyline though. Listen, y'all feel the way y'all feel, child. I would love to see another Jackie Christie wedding. Vow renewals and a kiss of death. Not for my parents. Hell, my parents have renewed their vows 3 times, child. You know, O Street, that's valid. I heard she wasn't there, but that doesn't mean she wasn't there. But I heard she wasn't there. No, Jackie Christie's are not for a storyline. Jackie Christie and Doug were renewing their vows every year before she was on Basketball Wives. They've done it every year since they got married, and it was before Basketball Wives. It's not a storyline. It's just she crazy as hell. But her and Doug Christie have renewed their vows every year. She didn't just start doing that when she got on Basketball Wives. King Sloopy said, you don't know what's real or what's just for the show anymore. True. Yeah, I think it is their 20th, Patty Duke. I think this is her and Ray's 20th. I think. Maybe it was their 25th. But this is it's a milestone. It's a milestone. It's okay, so Jeff. I mean, y'all can feel the way y'all feel. It's okay. It's all right. Even if it's just a storyline, it's a good one considering the issues they had last season. I agree, loving my piece. And honestly, I have to ask myself the question. Is this something that they would do even if they weren't on the TV show? And the way I feel about it is the probability is more yes than no. Does it absolutely mean that they would be doing it if they weren't on a reality show? Maybe I can't, you know. But I think that the likelihood that at a milestone anniversary, the likelihood that they will renew their vows, I think is more yes than no. That's how I look at it. Also, I feel that Bravo is paying for this event, and it could be a part of Monique's last year's contract that she cannot appear in promotional photo shoots of it. Now, that could be it, you know, because let's be clear. Bravo did Monique a favor because Monique had signed her contract and mailed it back in, and then she asked to be released from her contract. And Bravo could have very well been an asshole about the situation and told her no. So maybe there were some concessions that she had to give as far as that's concerned. That may very well be the case. That may very well be the case. So I don't know. That is what it is, y'all. So that's the Real Housewives of Potomac gossip. And I saw that, like I said, I saw it last night. And I wasn't going to say nothing about it at first. And then I said, well, we could just kind of talk about it a little bit. Again, whether, I don't know whether, again, I don't put nothing past nobody, especially when it comes to a marriage. I don't put nothing past nobody. But what I will say is this, stuff don't stay a secret for long, especially when you're on national TV. So if it is true, I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire, but I don't know if it's enough smoke here yet. Because I've only heard from one source. Everybody else that I've heard talk about it is quoting the same source. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I haven't heard anybody say anything that didn't come from the same place. So when I start hearing a little bit more smoke, then Right. Karen gets a vow renewal before Robert even gets a wedding, child. Listen, if you like it, I love it. Robin, if you like it, I love it, girl. That's all I got to say about that. If you like it, I love it. Yes, O Street. We talking about the rumor about Wendy and her husband and the side baby, honey. Good. Thank you, C. Golden, for reminding me so charges for Derrick. So that murderer, the guy that murdered George Floyd, he was indicted. Him and his 3 co-conspirators. Excuse me. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, love. Thank you. The blogger locked her account because the people were asking for receipts. Ooh. Okay. So he's been indicted with his co-conspirators on federal charges in the wrongful death of George Floyd. Remember, federal and state are 2 different things. Secondly, I saw today where he's also being charged in I think attempted murder. We've heard about whatever, King Snoopy. You guys may or may not have heard of the case about, I think it was like 14 years ago. It was either 14 years ago or it was a 14-year-old young man, black boy, who the same thing, just in this case, he didn't kill the young man. There was a complaint filed, but there were no charges ever brought up at the time. So he is also being charged in the attempted murder as well. So here's what I find to be very interesting. I guess they canceled it, King Snoopy. I used to like that show, but I think they canceled it, honey. I still follow most of the people from that show. It don't look like they filming nothing. They living their best life though. So it looks like Merrick Garland, our Secretary of Justice, for the Justice Department, looks like he is working overtime, honey, and he's trying to get some things done in light of what hadn't been done over the last 4 years. So did which 2 ever get divorced? The judge and her husband, I believe they are divorced. And the gay couple, they broke up. And come to find out, the gay couple was divorced before the season even ended. But they couldn't talk about it. They couldn't say anything about it. And remember how the season ended with him proposing to him? Child, they had already broken up. By the time that season by the time we saw the episodes, they had already broken up. Yeah, Tayati. Yeah, I think they did get divorced because I've seen them. The only time I've seen them in pictures together were like around the holidays. I haven't seen them because she ran for re-election and everything. They started cutting the food on Twitter during the finale. Oh, Lord. Yeah. So, matter of fact, Peter ended up moving to Miami, and the other guy, he still stays in Charlotte. But Peter ended up moving to Miami. Do I feel sorry for Liz Cheney? Hell no. I'm supposed to feel sorry for her? No. I mean, I wish there were more Republicans who were standing up to the Trump regime, but I don't feel sorry for her because she just decided to. I mean, let's be clear. She was a silent co-conspirator for the majority of Trump's administration. She spoke out a few times here and there, but overall, she ain't have a whole lot to say, and she let Trump run roughshod. And let's not forget who her damn daddy is. Hell no, I don't feel sorry for Liz Cheney. Yeah, I like to have it to hold, but I guess the views were low because I mean that's been over about 2 years now, and because it was not last summer, it was the summer before last that the show was on. So, Young Rich, I didn't say nothing about Phaedra. Where in my title does it say anything about Phaedra, Young Rich? Exactly. Give me shelter. I don't have no sympathy for her ass. Had no sympathy for her ass. Yeah, it was 2019, and even if they were planning on bringing it back, maybe with COVID, they just couldn't do it. I don't know. I feel the same way about Omarosa. How you all good until they turn child? But it's a whole lot of them. My thing is this: you don't get kudos for doing the right thing when you've been doing the wrong thing up until now. Like, okay, so Liz Cheney, you finally got a backbone when it was obvious that Trump had lost the election, and you were trying to tell them that you were talking about that. Okay, nobody is stealing the election from you. I don't give you no kudos for that. Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about Phaedra. I don't care about Phaedra. She's not in my title. Child, I don't care about no Phaedra. I'm not one of those people that wants Phaedra to come back. I could care less. I'm not a fan. I'm not. I don't dislike Phaedra, but I'm not a fan. Like, I don't care about Phaedra. Anyway, but yeah, so that's all I wanted to say about the murderer, because it looks like, some people were seemed like they were upset that his attorney was filing an appeal. That's what his attorney is supposed to do. Like, let's be clear. That's automatic. That appeal was written before the damn conviction came in. So I'm not mad that his attorney is filing an appeal. He's going to file. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what his attorney is supposed to do. His attorney is supposed to file an appeal, and he's going to keep filing appeals until his appeals are exhausted. That's what everybody does. Hell, damn, what's his name? Charles Manson filed appeals. I mean, that's part of the process. That's part of the judicial system. They're gonna file the appeal until he don't have no appeals left. Now, next month is the sentencing. That's gonna be important. The conviction was great. Now let's see what he gets. Let's see what the sentencing looks like. Kandi needs to work for the check. Child. Still think they should have sequestered the jury. Maybe. I mean, my thing is, what was sequestering the jury going to do? All of the protests and everything had already happened. What was sequestering the jury going to prevent them from hearing? I don't know. I think what might get them in trouble with the appeal is the change of venue. I don't think it'll be enough to overturn the conviction, But I think the fact that the judge wouldn't change the venue, I'm not saying I agree because I don't think he should have changed the venue. I think he should have gone on trial the same place he committed his crime. That's part of what got those cops off in the Rodney King beating. They changed the venue and put it out in Simi Valley where, all the rich white people who were scared of, niggas anyway was living. Of course, they didn't think the cops did anything wrong. Right. DMV said, I ain't doing this with y'all tonight. Kandi demoted. Demoted for what? Hell no, child. They can't. Well, I ain't gonna say they can't demote Kandi. They can do whatever they want to Kandi. But I doubt they demoted Kandi. I ain't saying they didn't. I'm gonna say I doubt it. First of all, I don't even think contracts have gone out yet, so I don't think anybody knows what anybody is doing. I'm kind of here for the Housewives of Miami on Peacock, especially if it's uncensored. Child, y'all, well, Social Jeff, you're gonna have to remind me when they start dropping the episodes. You're gonna have to remind me, child. You got to remind me because listen. Y'all know I have a hard enough time keeping up with this stuff here. I can't keep up with all the streaming stuff. I still want to go look at the Real World reunion, 20 years later or however many years shit is. Was it 20, 30 years now? That's over on, I think that's on Peacock too. I ain't looked at not one episode of that yet, but I will. I just haven't. Yeah. I don't think the contracts went out yet, because usually when the contracts go out, usually people say whether they got their contract or not. I don't think the contracts went out. Generally, the contracts don't go out until after the reunion. The contracts don't usually go out until after the reunion has been, until the season is over. So I don't think contracts went out yet. Third time's the charm for Real Housewives of Miami. I say even if Kandi leaves, she has done so much with the platform. Yeah, Kandi's fine. Listen, if Kandi is demoted, it is probably it was a mutual decision. Kandi is fine. Kandi ain't tripping off for none of that. She's fine. Kandi has definitely taken that platform and made it work for her. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Let's real quick. Let's get into Peacock is free. I think there's a Peacock Plus, and then there's Peacock. So the regular Peacock is free, but I think there's a Peacock Plus. Now, what's on the Peacock? What's different from Peacock Plus from regular Peacock? I don't know, but I think that's it. Damn, Social Jeff, what Kandi do to you? How you gonna say you hate that woman? Damn, what she do to you? So Chasing LA came on last night, and listen, out of the 4 episodes, I feel like that was the better of the 4 episodes. My only issue with last night's, I got 2 issues with last night's episode. My first issue with last night's episode is the editing. My second issue with last night's episode was D. Hawkins' confessional look. Every review that I have looked at has tried their best to say something nice about D. Hawkins' confession. Well, for the exception of El Teddy, because y'all know he's not gonna be nice. Anyway. Now, the editing is a problem for me. Now, for those of you who don't watch The Real Housewives, don't watch Chasing LA, you don't know what I'm talking about, I know. But the editing was an issue for me last night. That whole studio scene was out of sequence and didn't make no damn sense. How you gonna have D. Hawkins come out the studio yelling at people about being loud and extra. And King Payne was clearly sitting on that couch. And then cut to a scene with them standing in the hallway saying, I ain't seen King Payne in a long time. I don't know when I done seen King Payne. Then you have King Payne show up. Y'all act like y'all ain't seen each other in forever. Proceed to have a conversation about how y'all got beef with each other, which you ain't say nothing about having no beef with King Payne. And King Payne mad because he wasn't your first choice for coming to the studio. And then you proceed to explain, well, I was inviting people who I hadn't filmed with before. And I'd already filmed with you. And because of COVID, I have to keep the numbers small. Why are you breaking the fourth wall, sir? Why are you telling us that you are inviting people based on who you filmed with, not based on the scene? Because based on the scene, it made sense for you to invite the people you invited. Fran is a singer. Jayla is a singer. King Payne is a producer. According to what they say. I don't know none of these people. According to what they say. So it made sense that you invited the people you invited. So for you to be like, well, I invited people based on who I filmed with. So ain't none of that make no damn sense to me. And let me say this, and El Teddy, I know you with me. I ain't had a chance to talk to you about this yet. And I didn't put this in my review because I don't want the smoke. But El Teddy, you with me. And anybody else who saw the episode last night, y'all tell me if y'all with me or not. I'm not saying that a certain somebody indulges in a certain white substance that they've been accused of indulging in. But what I will say is that their behavior down to the studio was real suspect. You following what I just said? I'm just saying. Amani, I think it's a personal thing, and I think she needs to stop reviewing the show. I think she needs to bow out because I think it is absolutely personal. I think her and Q have a personal thing, and I think she just needs to bow out because it just comes off personal. All right. Thank you, El Teddy. I can always count on you for just. Listen, hey Cams, listen, Hershey was the first person to leave a comment under my video last night talking about I wasn't getting involved in that mess. I was done. I was over it and I was done. And I was like, girl, I understand because I'd have been down on that yoga mat with you because how you gonna say I'm working on getting over the pettiness and literally, I mean, again, I don't know how much time actually passed, but from what we saw, it was literally a 5-minute transition to petty. Honey child. Anyway, y'all, that's what it is. El Teddy, are you giving us a silly Saturday in the morning? To quote El Teddy, a mess. Just a damn mess. Where's Hershey spinoff? Where's he trying to balance COVID and booking drag shows? Listen, I would be here for a Hershey liqueur show. I would absolutely be here for it. All right, so y'all be on the lookout for Silly Saturdays in the morning. I will be dropping some videos tonight. Y'all go check out It's Me D did his legendary It didn't get yanked, did it? It's Me D. It's still up there. He was doing live last night. So go see what he was talking about with the legendary. I think he did all 3 episodes last night, child. And I'll be dropping some stuff tonight. Thank you again, Nickel Money, for the cash. I mean for the super chat. Mwah, mwah. It is much appreciated. Remember, it's not too late to go out here and thank first of all, you stay in the kitchen. You ain't said nothing this whole episode. You stay in the kitchen. It is the end of the week, but the week ain't over yet, damn it. So what? Stay in the kitchen. Moving on. Y'all make sure that y'all thank a teacher if you haven't already. To all the mothers, I want to wish you guys a very, very happy Mother's Day weekend. I hope that it is filled with a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that and some loves and hugs. And go and get you your Avon, honey. Go and get that Avon. Y'all know y'all go and get that Avon, child. You can't get it. It's too late for Mother's Day, but go and get your skin so soft and all your good stuff. And get ready for the next thing is Father's Day. We got some stuff for the fathers too. Y'all go check it out. We got some Smell Good and some other stuff. Oh, Dollface, thanks for reminding me. See, Dollface had to remind me. Dollface, my bestie came by today to do some things. Her husband did some work for me. Did some favors for me for some stuff around the house. You know, when you are a single woman and you live alone. And her kids got me something for Auntie's Day. So it says fun tea. I'm the fun aunt, like a mom, only way cooler. Isn't that cute? I thought that was so cute. So I will be wearing this on Sunday when I go see my nephew. I will be wearing this on Sunday. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much again. Too maturing from another mother. They thought of me. That was beautiful. I appreciate it much. And so everybody, please enjoy your Mother's Day weekend, especially you, Dollface. You go and you, especially you. And I'll catch y'all on the other side.